Dumelang, I am Mapula and welcome to Joburg today. If you haven't voted yet, please make sure to go to the nearest voting station and place your vote. Our colleague Noshina Mohammed spoke to a political analyst from the South African Institute of Race Relations, and she also spoke to Alan Litz from Uber Johannesburg.
Joining me in studio now is Boitumelo Setlatwe of the South African Institute of Race Relations. Boitumelo, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, at the heart of every elections are underlying themes, concerns that come to the surface. Would you say this time around it's all about fighting corruption, it's about stimulating the economy, it's about improving service delivery levels, or do you think it's just mudslinging that's going on right now?
Well, I think there definitely are very important issues. As you speak of the economy, we know that South Africa's economy has just been lagging around our 2% or so. And I think one of the other major issues really that everyone is grappling with is the issue of unemployment. And obviously that can only be abated by having faster economic growth, by providing an investment environment that's conducive. And that's really where we would start to see things improving in the country.
Would you also say that there are genuine concerns on the part of workers because we've been experiencing a lot of strikes in the country?
Yes, I think workers are very concerned. It's not only workers, employers are concerned. I mean, if we just look at the platinum strike that's been going on for now 15 weeks, we see that the towns, around those mines are near dead. There's no economic activity happening. And there are concerns. I mean, we just had the quarter labor force survey come out yesterday, and we see that even now there's more, in excess of 100,000 people who are now discouraged work seekers. So I think there's definitely a concern. And I think for most people, it's becoming quite a desperate situation. You might not have the education to allow you to find a job, to be able to negotiate your way into the workforce. And I think that's a very big problem for South Africans.
So would you say that South Africa has achieved a lot when it comes to achieving social justice? That is addressing the ill consequences of apartheid, but not much when it comes to real transformation?
I think that's a very good point that you make. I think we really have, in terms of increasing services and improving people's living standards, to a certain degree, South Africa has done very well. The government can pat themselves on the back for that. But in terms of real transformation, our transformation needs to be focused not only on the outcomes, but in the inputs of what you're trying to achieve. So if we try to make a more just and equitable society, we need to focus on education, on economic growth, on entrepreneurship. And those are the things that really will stimulate and create a better life for South Africans, where people are actually able to improve their lives through their own efforts. But I think at best, we have what a sort of a superficial transformation that we see. So we might see, people of color in certain positions, etc. But for most South Africans, the reality is that their future is predetermined by their circumstances, where they were born, how their parents fared before they were born, and that's what really determines their future. And so I think from real transformation, we still have a lot of work to do.
So South Africans are generally feeling very disillusioned right now at this very important junction. Do you think that there would be a significant shift in power following this election?
I think not particularly. The ANC is they still have the struggle narrative, which we really as South Africans still look to, and so from that point of view, they are able to still hold quite a large majority. I think there are certain issues such as corruption, Gandla, poor service delivery, which do start to make people to maybe start considering looking at other options. But I think they still are, have quite a strong hold on South Africans, on the psyche, on the emotion, and so we can still expect them to do quite well in the polls. I think, even if we look at Gauteng, the ANC has been concerned. A few weeks ago, they had reported that they were starting to get very concerned about their hold on the province, which is actually quite a big realization for them to actually come out and say that. But I think for the most part, they still have a strong hold. And I mean, then we see new kids on the block like the EFF who, for people who had been discounting them, as we approach elections, I think people should start to review that, because they are gathering a lot of momentum, because they're speaking to a certain sector of the population who seem to have been forgotten by the other parties. And so from that perspective, we can expect that they would do quite well in this coming election.
Thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us.
Thank you.
My name is Robin. This is Joburg today.
Joining me in studio now is Alon Litz, the General Manager of Uber Johannesburg. Alon, welcome to our studios. Nice to have you here.
Thanks very much for having me.
Now, we are hearing marvelous things about an initiative you've come up with to support elections. Tell us about that.
So basically, we've just been humbled by the loyalty of South African users of Uber in Joburg, Cape Town and Durban. And we really wanted to give back to our user base. And we thought, what better way than to offer free rides to our users on election day, to really celebrate democracy and give people an easy and efficient way to get to the polls.
So I'm assuming you are being inundated by calls right now.
So funnily enough, no calls.
Okay.
Everything works purely through the application. We're expecting huge demand tomorrow. We've briefed drivers. We don't employ the drivers. We don't own the cars. We partner with independent owner operators, so the guys know that tomorrow is going to be an extremely busy day. We have made it clear to them that obviously first and foremost they need to vote. And once they've completed their civic duty, go online. It's going to be a great opportunity for them to earn money. Even though we're giving away the free rides, they are going to be earning full income for those rides.
So how are you marketing this, especially to attract new users?
Yeah, so Uber luckily is quite a viral brand. We sent out a rider email yesterday, and post that email, Uber Joburg was actually trending on Twitter. So there's just been a lot of general buzz around the brand and around the initiative. So again, it goes back to how involved our rider base is with the Uber brand, and it really comes down to them spreading the word for us around the various communities.
And you said that you are expecting a big demand come tomorrow.
Yeah.
How are you going to manage this?
So again, it comes down to we don't, as I said, we don't employ the drivers. It all comes down to communication. So we ensure that the guys are briefed in advance that tomorrow is going to be a busy day. We're telling them there's going to be demand across Johannesburg. Be online, a great opportunity for them to make money.
And what about the other cities in which you operate?
So exactly the same story. Drivers have been briefed. The rider email went out on Monday, notifying users of this promotion. We have been reaching out to press proactively to help spread the word as well, and really been again overwhelmed by the response for this initiative.
Alon, know that the private sector has a role to play in supporting democracy in any country. But what inspired you? How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so I guess we thought, how can we add value on election day? And Uber's not a transportation provider, but we do give people a technology platform which enables them to get around their cities. And the whole thing about Uber, it brings people and their cities closer together. So it really was the perfect opportunity to empower people on election day to get around for free. Everyone, come elections, they may or may not have an excuse not to vote. Transport is now one less thing for people to worry about.
You're an international company as well, based in San Francisco.
Exactly.
Do they do this kind of service come elections in that country as well?
We're in 100 cities around the world. The first city globally to run this promotion was Bangalore in India, and this was in their recent elections now in India. So Bangalore, Hyderabad and Mumbai ran this promotion in India about a month ago.
Okay, will you support elections in any country in which you operate?
It's not Uber policy. It's really Uber. We are a global company, but it really comes down to the local team running that city. So if we think there's a value add for consumers at the end of the day, and then we've got the go-ahead to do it. It really is city dependent. It's not like every city where there's Uber on election day, this is going to happen.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Great, thank you very much.
My name is Omri and this is Joburg Today.
Keep in touch with us on social media by following us on Twitter at Joburg Today and liking our Facebook page, joburgtoday.tv. While on the go, you can check us out on pockettv.mobi, and that is pocket with an I. Don't forget to check out the special focus section to see what is happening in and around Johannesburg, and we've got a new Cap Talk for you. That's it from me, Maps. Till next time, I leave you with a song by Chiano Sky called Walking Away. Cheers!
You say that you need me to show it. I'll know it. If falling is so easy, then why am I crying? It's not supposed to be like this. I wanna know my place. Come on, invade my space. I wanna feel like I need it. I'm needed by you. I wanna know what it feels like to be haunted by you. I wanna know what it feels like to be wanted by you. You kiss me on it like you want me to stay. Love is so hard to get, but so quick to throw away. You say you want me, but you crave me to show it. I'll know it. Like the moth to a flame, it's not a game for the shame. It's not supposed to be like this. I wanna understand, wanna do what I can. I wanna feel like I need it. I'm needed by you. I wanna know what it feels like to be haunted by you. I wanna know what it feels like to be wanted by you. Just touch and go and show me, running so fast to know where it's not just a phase. We cannot erase what we have, what we have. I wanna know what it feels like to be haunted by you. I wanna know what it feels like to be wanted by you. I wanna know what it feels like to be haunted by you, by you, by you.